How Basketball Saved My Life is sponsored by the Hall at the Rail House, Norman's premier event space in the heart of downtown. Weddings, receptions, corporate events, luncheons, banquets, proms, parties, and more. If you're looking for a place to celebrate life, we hope you'll choose the Hall at the Rail House, located in downtown Norman. The Hall at the Rail House is a 100-year-old event space with wood floors, exposed bricks, and beautiful wood barrel ceilings. With plentiful parking and many packages to choose from, the Hall is the perfect spot for your next event. For more information, please visit therailhousenorman.com or call 405-778-0003.
This episode is brought to you by Chris Express Drug, located in South OKC. For your sports medicine needs, call 405-735-3950.
This episode is also brought to you by ME Labs. They have partnered with Oklahoma State Department of Health to bring you free COVID-19 tests. Go to www.mulabs.com to find a testing location near you. Yes, sir. That's a major move. Welcome to another episode of How Basketball Saved My Life. I'm your host, the Easy Button.
Your boy Toni Young.
We have a very special guests in here for y'all today. Toni Young, how are you today?
I'm great.
And then Miss Clarissa, how are you today?
Good.
All right. So we're going to open up the show. We're going to give a quick moment of silence for my man, Michael Young. Obviously, for those that don't know, Toni, that's Mike's sister. So we're going to give a quick shout out for my man. All right. Hey, love my brother, miss my brother, okay? You know, anytime I think about him, it's almost always a celebration the way I think about him, because the whole time I known him, it was always just all fun. Like,
that's that good energy.
Real life. I mean, from the time we was restraining kids together at Red River.
Our Houston trip on his birthday, like we had a lot of little stuff. He cool, man. He used to put me on a lot of stuff since I moved to Oklahoma, bro. He cool. Bro.
And not to mention, we had this one kid at Red River. I ain't gonna say his name. Man, he was trying to swing on both me and Mike. He was trying to swing on both me and Mike. And we sitting there, we dodging him, and we like, boy, if you land one, we might have to get at you. You know what I'm saying? And we always talked about it, and he always gave me a hard time for that, man. So I miss my bro, you know. So we're going to get into it. Basketball. WNBA player. You played at Oklahoma State. You know, played a little bit overseas. How'd you get your start hooping?
Michael actually forced me into playing basketball.
Forced you?
Forced me because I was always taller than everybody.
Right.
Him. That's what I'm saying. I was always taller, so he kind of just forced me like, come on, Toni, you need to do something. I was a little awkward when I was younger, so he's like, all right, let's get you into some sports, get you out of this house. So, yeah, basketball, he started me. He got me in there.
So is he older?
Yes. Michael's born in 88. What is he, 3 years older than me?
Okay, so he got you hooping. When was that? What grade? What age?
I attempted 8th grade. I quit, yeah, it went for me. I attempted my first try, and then my freshman year, Carrie Sears and Deanna Durson was my coaches there. They talked me into playing, and
What school was you at?
Dale City High School.
Okay.
Well, I was at Delcrest. This is before they, put the 9th graders up.
Okay.
But we were still playing up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was, you attempted in 8th grade, and then you were like,
Yeah,
this ain't for me.
Too much working, too much exercise. Left me at the time.
Hey, that's how it is with my little sister. I wish she hooped. My little sister, she's like 5'11".
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And obviously that's tall for a girl. And try to get her to run track, try to get her to hoop, but she was too busy trying to get her nails done and stuff like that.
She pretty.
You know what I'm saying? She tried to do all that, and I didn't force her. I wish I did. So, dang, man, I should have forced her.
It turned out to be great. I got forced into it, but it was great.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So then you didn't do an 8th grade. So then what happened in high school?
So, Coach Sears, she got me in there. I started practicing a little bit, man. Shot was terrible. Was terrible. Work ethic was terrible. Everything. Form was terrible. Feet were slow. It was bad.
Crisscross
man,
applesauce.
I'm telling you, I couldn't sidestep for nothing. Like, depending on I was getting crossed, but it never happened. But they were slow.
You can't say it never happened. I don't believe
I ain't been crossed.
You ain't been crossed?
Man, you can't pull up no footage where I was crossed.
Okay, if it ain't no footage, it ain't happening.
I was about to say,
You
right.
can't pull up no
I
footage where I
believe
was
it. You know, young Mike was defensive.
He ain't
too,
crossed,
so
Hey, Mike had that D.
he had the D,
had
so
that D.
I believe it rubbed off then. I believe it.
Yeah.
He was a defensive cat.
Did he at least did he cross you over?
You know, me and him was always on the same team. We
Oh,
played
no.
mostly on the same team. You know, when
No.
you go to a gym with all guys, they don't want to pick up the girl. They don't
True.
ever think the girl can hoop.
True.
So you know
When put
what?
it
He
that
always
way.
picked me up.
Being
So
the
I had to,
person
you know,
Mike is, he ain't
bust
leaving
that.
nobody out.
Exactly. He
He
always
ain't
picked
leaving
me up.
nobody out.
That's what's up, man. So now, how does Coach get you to play when you didn't want to? Was she hounding you? Was she popping up in your classes?
How did she get this
Second, man, how did she? Man, she just started bringing me into it. I think she started talking to Michael.
Yeah.
Michael's the only. I'm telling you, he's the only reason why I started like taking it serious.
Right.
I wanted to be as good as him.
Yeah.
He was my player that everybody got that famous player
For
they
sure.
looked up to. Mine was Michael.
No doubt.
So he was great on the court. I'm like, you know, I'm about to be like that. So she kind of helped mold me, and he pushed me.
Okay.
So she reached out to him to get you. Well, she's smart.
Yes.
She was
It's
smart.
crazy though, because sometimes I hear that even though he got you started, you the reason he went and played college ball out there in Stockton, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm from Cali, and that's really how we linked. When I first got here, Hillsdale had great runs when I first got here, 2011, and I think he had just came back for like spring break.
Yeah.
And that's when we first linked up. And we was running up there, and he was like, "Yeah, I play ball in Stockton." I'm like, "Damn, that's crazy. I'm from Sacramento. I'm coming out here to play ball." And that's just kind of how we linked up. Yeah, it was told that you was the one who got him linked up out there to play ball.
His coaches out there was actually my coach's cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My coaches that died in 2011.
I was about to say that all happened
They were
around that
cousins.
plane crash.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how they ended up getting close. It's because her cousin was his coach.
That's love how they came back full circle though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, alright, you got me doing something I ain't want to do. And I know you don't want to leave Oklahoma, so I'm going to ship you off. I'm going to ship you off to go do something that's going to better you. I know you love it, but you probably don't want to leave us. So here it is, right? So this coach, she was on your neck. She got you to hoop. When did you fall in love with it?
Man, I had to say college actually.
Oh, it took a minute.
It took a minute. I was always just naturally good at it. When you're good at stuff, you just do it.
Yeah.
But it's the team that makes you love it. It's the people around you that make you love it.
The
So
relationships.
yeah, so I love my team in high school. I love my coaches. Me and my coaches still really good friends.
Yeah.
But college made me love it. Now that I think about like professional and college life, I would go back to college over any transition.
Right.
College was the best.
So I mean, you did 4 years. So I don't want to get ahead of myself. So high school. I mean, did you start right away? Did you come off the bench? Just what was that like?
My freshman year, we had one post player or two post players ahead of me. I hadn't found my position yet, but I was tall, so you know, tall player, you got to throw around the post. But I was little. I was little,
frail.
but I was athletic.
Yeah.
So where you put me? They put me at the 4-5, and we already had a big girl in those positions. So my freshman year, I kind of just watched them and got better. My sophomore year, I started to build onto, you know, my little resume.
Right.
And then I took my position.
He was like, okay, I like what you're doing. I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah.
I like what you're
I'm
doing.
gonna take them moves. I'm gonna take that shot.
Yeah.
And then I found my spot then.
What spot was that?
Oh, I was starting early. Yeah, I got pulled up my freshman year.
Yeah.
They only had like 3 or 4 freshmen come up because they were still a freshman team at Delcrest.
Right.
So they brought us up, and then my sophomore year, if I'm not mistaken, we were starting. They had brought like 3 or 4 freshmen in that year.
What position they had you at?
4 or 5.
Okay.
Is Delcrest like one of the middle schools that have junior high all the way through high school to senior year?
No.
It was like
No,
freshmen,
no.
sophomores?
It was now I think it's like 6th, 7th, 8th, but it was 7th, 8th, and 9th
Oh,
when I was there.
That's
and
what
then
I'm
they
trying
put
to
the
figure
9th
out.
grade up.
Got you. That's a weird.
It was weird. Like
Yeah,
we played
it's
up,
weird
but we
enough.
still went to school at Delcrest until they moved the entire 9th
Yo,
grade.
y'all was celebrities then, probably on campus.
Hey, we was out there hooping. For the little freshmen, we was out there.
Cause I don't have to be on y'all's campus. I'm about to go to the main campus.
Big kid campus.
Big kid, y'all stay with the little people.
Yeah, we got to get out of class a little early, school a little early.
Oh yeah, that's love. So by sophomore year, you was starting.
Yeah, sophomore year I was starting. I think we had like 3 or 4 sophomores starting a year.
Oh, y'all were good for years to come then.
We always had a good team in high school. Every year we lost to the state champion, except for my senior year.
Did y'all win it? Okay.
We won in my senior year. Yeah, but before then we always competed.
Did y'all play that same team every time?
No, we played Midwest City in the finals, but it was like Sapopa.
Okay.
Sapopa was kicking people. Who else? All them Tulsa schools was smacking.
Tulsa, boy.
Hey, they was smacking us for a little bit. A little bit.
Tulsa, man. So, dang, so y'all went to state sophomore year, junior year, won and senior year.
Yep. All 3 years we went. So I think the first year we lost like early, then second year we got closer, and then the third year we took it.
So that means you were probably getting some college interest early then, right?
I didn't really start getting recruited until, man, like my junior year. Because like I said, I didn't start until late.
True.
So they only had like a year to watch me.
Yeah.
And then I started getting letters. I committed going into my senior year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so before then, like I was getting a couple letters here and there because I was playing AAU.
Right.
So I was getting a couple letters here and there, but not until after I committed. They started coming in.
You think most of your love came from AAU? A lot of that kind of college appreciation came more from when you was playing AAU or playing on that high school team?
Man, I think a little bit of both because our coach, Coach Sears, she pushed our players. That was her biggest thing, was to get us all into college.
Right.
That was her goal. It didn't matter if it was small college or
Right.
Big D1. It was to get us into college. So
Yeah,
she
go get that education.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wherever it was, if it was free.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So speaking of AAU, where did you play AAU and when did you start?
I played for Lady Ice.
Lady
With
Ice.
the Twins, yep, and then I played for Oklahoma Select. I was playing with both teams. I
Yeah.
started Lady Ice my sophomore year, and then Oklahoma Select my junior year, going into them because they were a little more exposed.
So here's a question. You know, some people be like, you know, you got to play with one team and do all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously you did both, so I kind of know where you're leaning. But explain why it's good to play with. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to play with more than one team.
More exposure,
More
more
exposure.
experiences. Every team can't afford to go to camps. Some teams are sponsored. My Oklahoma Select team, they were sponsored by Adidas or something. So they paid for our camps.
Hey, yo.
Oklahoma Select team, Oklahoma Ice, that came out of pocket. Yeah, so if you got them
I
opportunities,
hated them
you gotta take them.
fundraisers, man.
But-
Them camps are expensive.
But then the teams had different experiences because who you playing with. So
True.
you're not playing with the same people. You know, that
You're not
fundraising
seeing the
team,
same
more
competition.
gritty. That select team, a little bit more, you know,
The thing-
organized.
Yeah, it was way more organized. We traveled a lot more, went to different states. My Ice team, we was just local.
Yeah, okay.
So, like, I feel like that had a major impact on you advancing as a player, starting so late, because you was playing on 2 different teams, getting 2 different types of experiences. I mean, that had to have a major impact on your development as a player.
With Oklahoma Select, all those players were Division I athletes.
No
My
doubt.
entire team, they all went D1.
Sound like a junior college.
I swear, my
Sound like a
whole,
JUCO.
whole team, my whole Oklahoma Select team went big D1.
Yeah.
So we were playing girls that were hooping.
Yeah.
So going from, you know, basic high school where you can't recruit your players
Right.
to these teams that's recruiting they
Yeah.
players.
All-star
Yeah.
team.
What? We were an all-star team.
That's
Playing
lovely,
all-star
yeah.
teams.
For real.
Yeah, it was crazy, man.
That's dope. That's dope. So, like, so you're like 6'1" right now, right?
Yes.
So, did you peak early or did you grow some throughout high school or even college?
Man, I really don't know when I just kind of took
Stop.
off. I feel like I just slowly grew. You know, people hit that growth spurt. I don't
Yeah.
think I had it. I think mine just didn't stop until
One
it
day,
stopped.
one day you woke up and was like, look at God.
I've always been bigger. Like 4th grade, I'm like up here and everybody's shooting at me, you know. So eventually we kind of caught, but then I was still going.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't think I ever just had a growth spurt. I was just big.
Just grown.
I just asked that because you said it was all-star team versus all-star team, and there had to be girls on them teams that was taller than you.
Oh yeah, man. We had who was it? Diamond. Diamond went to Midwest City. She was on our team. She was what, 6'4"?
Oh shoot.
Yeah. So man,
that's
even in
not
college,
fair.
I was small.
That's
I'm little.
You played the post in college too?
Yes.
Ooh.
4 or
so
5
you
in
probably
college.
really, yeah, so you
Yeah, and I was this size.
So you was blown by.
I was still this size.
Guard down there.
They was having to keep up with me, but they didn't really have.
She the reason why small ball in Houston happened. For real. Oh, we getting the blueprint now. Let's get into it. So then, now college interests start happening. You start getting recruited. You said you committed going to senior year.
I had went to OSU camp.
Okay.
They always put on like team camps, and then it's like fall into an individual camp. We went down there for the team camp, and Coach Cerna, she was recruiting me, started recruiting me, brought me in one day and was like, "We want to offer." I'm like, "Man, I'm here."
Right.
I said,
Right then and there?
Well, actually, before then, I had went on a trip.
I'm about to say, you
Let
know,
me tell you my one bad experience. My
Yeah.
one bad experience. I had went to Macon, and I went to the private school down there. And we get down there, and they telling me like, "We about to celebrate you." I'm like, "What we celebrating?"
it's not my birthday.
What we celebrating? So they're like, "Yeah, we about to celebrate. Come to the middle." So I come in the middle. We all turn, and I'm like, "Yeah, what's going on?" They pick me up. They're like, "Yeah, Tony committed to us." I'm like, "Tony committed? Where? To who? To y'all?" But my coach got me up out of there so quick.
Man, hey, that's a good little move they tried to pull.
What? They tried to get me.
They tried to get you because you could have been like, "Yeah, let's do it."
I almost fell for it. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here."
Hold on, this was the college, not OSU.
This was not OSU.
Yeah.
This was before I went to OSU on my team camp.
They tried to.
They tried.
Yes.
They got me to come down there. This before I even started really
They
getting
got your
recruited.
endorphins all up.
But it was
For you to
lit
be
down
like, "Yeah,
there.
let's go."
It was like
She got
homecoming
game.
weekend.
She got game there.
Yeah, they got me down there and told me I was committed. I went back home and I'm talking to my coach. I'm like, "Coach, I don't know what happened." They gave me all this nice stuff.
Yeah.
They told me that
Maybe I am committed.
right, maybe I'm supposed to be here. Nah, man, I got up out of there and I went to OSU camp.
You ain't go back to sit.
Nah, I ain't go back. I'm like, it was a great college.
No.
Once I was out of there, I was out of there.
Yeah,
I
for
was
sure.
out of there.
That would have turned me off, honestly.
I was so confused, man.
So then, you said you committed to OSU.
Mhm.
Were you considering anybody else?
I wasn't heavily recruited. I wasn't heavily recruited.
Shame on y'all. Go ahead.
I wasn't heavily recruited, so like I said, I was going to that camp, and Coach Becky and Coach Cerner had brought me in, and they was like, "We watched you play. We want to offer." I'm like, "Y'all want to offer me? The Big 12? Okay." So I'm like, just give me a minute. Let me think about it.
Right. Play
So keep cool. Me and Coach Sears, we walk out. I'm walking to the gym. It's like 30 seconds later. I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna go." I ran back in there. I'm like, "I'm here. I like it here."
Give me a minute. I counted the minutes.
Exactly.
Let us know.
Yeah, it was the best decision I've ever made.
That is
Best
phenomenal.
decision I've ever
Right down the street.
When you go in there and you feel the vibe in there, it's like they were huge on family. That was that biggest thing when I walked in there. I'm big on family. When I walked in there, I told them my family means the world to me. If they need me, I need to be there. They respected that, and they are family oriented. So I'm like, this is for me.
That's a good little plug for OSU. Good little plug for OSU. Ladies, y'all hear that?
Right, great school.
Y'all hear that? So you get there rookie year. I said rookie. Freshman year. Did you have any expectations coming in?
No, man, I wouldn't even expect to be in college for basketball, so I didn't know what I was doing. I was just rolling with it.
Day by day.
Yeah, just thankful rolling with it. But when I got in there, man, they had like gutted the whole team. When I came in, it was like 9 new players.
Wow.
9 new players. And
All
it was
freshmen?
I think it was like
That don't
5
happen in
freshmen
Division
ever.
I.
It was like 5 freshmen. I think we had 2 sophomores, 1 junior, and 1 senior, or something like that. They came in. Yeah, whole new team.
They just cut everybody? Or
Cut everybody.
Damn.
When we got there, they had 4 players.
Cutthroat.
I heard it's like that. I ain't never knew somebody who experienced it at Division I level. That's like a junior college thing where
Hey, if you're not handling business, it's a job. It's still a job at the end of the day. They got to feed their family.
Right.
big facts.
So
Golly, so 9 new players.
Yeah, I would think you coming in, you probably felt like that spot could be yours right then and there.
man,
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
I didn't know where I was gonna fit. But well, when I came in, they already had who was it? Megan Bideford. She was our big, and
So your position was on lock?
position was already filled, which was fine because she was a senior. So I had some learning,
Yeah.
which was perfect. I came in, I think I played a little bit, maybe average like 7 points my freshman year. Now my
That's
sophomore
7.5 actually. I Googled.
I had a few points.
Something like that.
Yeah, but my freshman year, we only had maybe 2 freshmen that played, and I was one of them. Me and one other post.
Fire.
Yeah, so we came in doing a little bit.
So I mean, you go from not even wanting to hoop to now you in college. Your freshman year, you in the Big 12. You get minutes. You averaging almost double figures. What's that summer of freshman year like when you go into that sophomore year? You know what I'm saying? Did you like chip on your shoulder? Was you ready to go sophomore year? Because now the senior was gone.
It was my time.
Yeah,
It was my time.
Keep it real.
Yeah, it was my time, man. We put in so much work. I came in my sophomore year and it was like, all right, this is it. It's
so
either
you was okay with the work, because earlier you was saying you didn't want to do the ball because it was too much
And
work.
what-
So
She in love now.
So now
She
you
in love
ready
now.
for the grind.
now I'm like, okay,
grind.
I put that work in, it shows on the court. Like
Okay.
I was, my work ethic was showing on the court.
Okay.
So my sophomore year came in, I think I was averaging double digits finally then.
Yup, like 12.
Yeah, something like that. You know, it was growing just
I don't
a
have a
little bit.
photographic memory, but I looked at it.
Each year it was getting a little better.
Yeah.
Each year was getting a little better. Yeah, we came in, what was I? Yeah, what was I, like 12 and maybe like 5-6 rebounds, something
And your
like that.
field goal percentages were always sky high.
Yeah, my favorite shot was 10-point line, free throw line, all that 12-foot line across. I hit any of that. My go-to was turnaround jump shot. Yeah, I jumped at everybody, turnaround jump shot.
Kobe.
That's it.
So golly, so then sophomore year, now you here, you've arrived.
Mm-hmm.
Were you then already a WNBA prospect, or were you still? You got something before
Before
you?
you answer that, when did you feel you was about to be ready for like a WNBA
It was
prospect?
never a goal.
Never go.
Never a goal. The WNBA was never a goal.
Wow.
My goal was just to graduate.
Yeah.
That was it.
And you did that.
I did that.
All right, we gonna talk
It was
about
only
that.
like 3 of us, but we did that.
That's Liddy though.
Right,
That's Liddy
right.
though.
Yeah, it wasn't a goal.
So yeah, go ahead with you.
All right. So then, were you a prospect your sophomore year, or somewhere in your sophomore year?
I don't think I became a prospect. What did we do my sophomore year? My sophomore year, I think we went to the NAI tournament or something. And I think we did okay in that, but then we didn't go very far. So I don't think I was being recruited then. I don't think I started getting recruited until my junior year.
Okay.
But I broke my arm,
I
so
didn't
that
know
set me back. I broke my arm right after my coaches passed. Right after going into my junior year, I broke my left arm.
Got you.
Did you redshirt?
No,
Did you play too many games by then?
I played. I just I healed and I came back.
Oh, you came back same season.
I broke it at the end of the season. I broke it. I was averaging like crazy points. That's what it was. We was in that tournament. We was in the NAIA tournament.
And you keep saying, and I know it's something else. Like it won't come to me right now.
It's not that?
Nah.
The NIT?
NIT.
That's what it is.
I know.
NAIA.
I know.
NIT. It's something like that.
Yeah.
That thing.
That thing.
Yeah, we was in that tournament, man, and I was averaging like 20-something and like double-digit rebounds. Broke my arm. Yeah, it came down off a dunk. We had like it was.
Okay, what?
We was practicing.
Right.
I've been able to dunk since I was like
You just gonna let the whole show go.
See how
like
she left
20
that out and ain't
minutes
say
in.
nothing about dunking
That's
the
my
whole
I
time.
should have knew that.
I think I started dunking like my sophomore year in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a
That's
couple
when I
teams-
started dunking.
Yeah, so
Shit,
back
me
then-
too, I ain't gonna cap.
Yeah, I started dunking then, but we was in they had like a group of people was coming through and we was like practicing. It was just like a little warm up before the game. I think the next day we had a game. And went up, dunked 2 hands, my hands sweaty, came off the rim, landed.
Oh,
Landed like this on one
I hate
arm,
people
man.
give me visuals, man. I can just see
Boy,
it.
snapped that thing in 3 places.
Oh my
Damn,
goodness.
you got pins in there?
Nah, what's crazy is when after I fell, I snatched it. And it
Back in place.
yeah, and it was
Oh,
sitting
gee.
like this and I lined it back up so I didn't have to have surgery. Only thing is my arm don't turn like it's supposed to. But
So you can't.
nah. Hey, this ain't working.
Listen.
This ain't working.
Oh man, so
Yeah.
we gotta got to talk about this dunk thing real quick, because a lot of girls can be tall and still can't dunk. Were you on a program? Did you do anything special to get your bounce
Just
right?
natural, man. I just naturally a jumper. I think my vertical is like a 37 and a half, 39 and a half.
Oh,
Shit, girl, you got down
now I'm like a 28.
Hey, now I don't know. But at my prime, it was like 37 and a
that's
half,
legit.
38.
Yeah,
real,
makes
for
sense
real.
why you can go up there in two hands.
Yeah, I was getting up here. When I was dunking, I was knocking my
I need some
forearm.
footage, Tony, so I
I
can.
got-
No, I'm saying, because I want to put it, you know what I'm saying, I need some of that. Anyway, so, alright, well, I can't even tell them how to learn how to dunk, because you ain't do no program.
None.
Alright,
None.
well,
It's
y'all got some questions, just holler at us, and we gonna figure it out.
Super athletic.
Yeah.
You like 5'8".
Exactly.
With them baby ass hands.
Hey, baby. Hey, he had hang time nine numbers. Crazy.
He always complains, man, if my hands was bigger, man, my hands was
Right.
They had them
After
hands.
every game, he'd be tired as heck. Still out there going to dunk. Like, dang, you're not tired.
But
He'll do a backflip.
No, he'll do two.
Then go backflip.
He'll do 10 backflips. He'll do 10 backflips.
How you still got that?
Bro.
I'm really standing.
Right.
10 backflips, and then throw himself a lob and dunk
He
it.
was really still doing that to this day. After Skins
Crazy.
League games.
Yes,
Boy
bro.
still
So
got
much
a
energy.
backflip.
Oh, so much energy.
Yes. So, all right, I got that dunk question out the way. So, back to the prospect thing. It wasn't a goal, and then you broke your arm. So then junior year, you were able to come back for that, right?
So, my junior year, I think, man, I feel like I wasted like the first, not half of the season, probably like third of the season.
Doing what?
Not being scared to use my arm.
Ah.
Catching balls with one hand.
Yeah.
Because, man, anything, just that little bit hurt.
Yeah.
So I was just scared of,
Post-traumatic.
yeah,
Yeah.
it affected me for a long time. And my numbers started to drop real bad. I wasn't being as productive on the
And
court.
you got down to like 14 or 15 points.
Yeah,
From
it was-
17.
Yeah, so it was dropping.
Yeah, yeah.
So finally, man, it was just like a switch. Like, it's either make or break. So you got to do it. So I started just playing through it, started to get my numbers back up. And I think I ended up with, like, again, double figures. I was averaging a double-double.
Yeah. Facts. So, any tournament runs that year?
I think that's the year we won the NIT.
Liddy.
Yeah, I think we ended up winning it that year. Shoot. I think then I was averaging like 25 and like
I mean,
14.
for y'all to win the NIT, somebody had to go.
Hey, we
blood.
was hooping. We was.
Cause it was crazy how she said y'all was averaging 12 your sophomore year, and then in NIT you jump up to 20.
Yeah,
So
man.
she was big.
Yeah, be out there
getting
making
real
plays.
comfortable.
What is it about that big stage that you just
Real
go blood? Like, what is it?
Man, you know, when you're on the court, you don't hear nothing. You don't hear nothing. You don't see nobody. All you hear really is key people. I hear my coaches and I hear my mom, which is crazy. I hear my coach and my mom. I don't hear nothing else. It's like a zone. And once you find that muscle memory, it's just like riding a bike.
So it sound like to me you was holding back during the regular season. I'm just saying.
It's that confidence. Once you find that confidence that you can do anything, you can literally do anything.
That's no
If
doubt.
you miss a shot, it's a mental thing. It's all mental.
That's what I loved about just hooping. Just, you know, you find that zone and you just, that's like a high. You just try to chase that
It's
zone.
hard to get you out of there.
Man, you just try to get back into one of them zones because ain't nothing like it,
Man, because you throw up anything that's going
It's going in.
It's in there, I'm telling you.
Became a ball hog.
In there.
It's going.
I'm telling you.
That's how you get a ball hog.
See that ball go in so many times.
It's in there. Hey, and I'm going to keep passing it to you. You like that? Oh, that's yours. Go ahead.
You got
I'll take that assist. It's still 2
Right,
points.
right.
Let's feed the hot hand, right?
Count.
So then, all right, so NIT, you win that thing. Surely you're a prospect then, you're starting to hear the buzz.
That is when I started getting a little buzz. My coaches had brought me in and told me that San Antonio was looking at me.
Yeah.
That's actually where I wanted to go. It
Yeah.
was close to home, and I had
It's a drive.
it's just a drive.
Yeah.
I had researched the coaches a little bit. The coach had a great resume. He
Who's
just
the coach
seemed
there?
cool.
Don't even worry about it. Let's keep it moving.
He was friends on Facebook.
Hi.
Yeah. But the program down there just seemed so good. And then I I think it was them in New York.
Yeah.
That was like really looking at me. Yeah, that's when I'm like, okay, I might be able to do this a little longer, you know? Because I was still unsure what I wanted to do.
Right. So while you were being unsure, what were you studying? Because surely you probably leaning towards your education at the time.
Yeah, after I broke my arm, that's when I realized, get your education.
Yes.
Because, man, when I broke my arm, I thought I was going to lose everything.
Uh-huh.
And that's when it snapped. That's when it clicked, like, okay, get real.
Get real.
So, crap, I lost train of thought.
So what were you left junior year and actually went and played?
I would not have left.
Not yet?
No, because my education was my biggest thing then. Because basketball is not for certain.
Right.
Like, I broke my arm and like, boom, I could have been kicked off the team then. They don't keep injured players.
Gave somebody else.
Exactly, they don't keep injured players. So I'm like, all right, it's time to buckle down. So even then, like, graduate and then go to college.
Yeah.
I mean, go to the pros.
For sure. Yeah. So what were you studying?
Education. I have a science degree in education.
Awesome.
I thought I wanted to be a teacher.
Yeah.
But I don't like kids.
But you
ain't the patience for them, man.
You ain't even got to teach kids though.
I know, and I was gonna use it in other ways. I really feel like I should go back to school, but I got my own shop, and it's nothing to do with my degree.
Come on now, you're getting ahead of me. Come on now, chill out. All right, so education degree.
Yeah.
That's dope. So that you buckled down after you broke your arm, you got that done. Did you get it done in time to get your 4 years?
I did.
Yeah.
With OSU, they require summer school, which is great. We did like 3 or 4 classes in the summertime, so it keeps you on track to graduate on time. A lot of colleges, a lot of kids will graduate after.
Right.
We didn't want to graduate, have to deal with basketball. Yeah, graduate after.
Yeah.
If you do them summer classes and not drop classes throughout the year, you graduate on time.
See, that's what's dope about it is they got you, or you knew what you wanted to do going in. I ain't gonna lie, I took some fluff classes.
I took fluff classes, man.
Okay, all right.
But I finished them. What I did was
sure.
I did all my basics first.
Right.
Because I was so unsure what I wanted to do. I'm still unsure what I want to do, man.
Yeah.
I'm about to be 30.
Man, I'm 30. I'm still trying to figure life out.
Yeah.
Kids, don't take fluff classes. If the coach is trying to make you take fluff classes, talk to your local guidance counselor, or parent or guardian.
That's coming from a counselor.
Get them basics out of the way. If nothing else, get them done first.
I mean, shoot, they can do dual enrollment now. They can be in high school and taking college
What?
courses.
That's crazy,
I didn't even
right?
know you could do that.
I don't think I was smart enough then to do that.
Maybe not. That's probably why I didn't know. It wasn't for me.
No, man,
It wasn't for me. So, all right. So then now you're like senior year's here. I'm a prospect, and how did senior year go? Man, you had another good year.
Senior year was great. You start to realize that it's like coming to an end. Man, it's crazy.
You got sad real quick, didn't you?
You spend so much time with these people. You spend every day with these people.
Every day,
I mean, from
literally.
like 5 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. Holidays, birthdays, you spend so much time with them. So when it starts to wind down, it's like, man, it's coming to an end. So it's buckle down, ready for that next life, because it don't stop.
Is that when you decided to take? Go ahead.
No,
I was gonna say, is that when you started to take playing ball at the next level serious? Because you knew it was gonna come to an end, and you had to start the next chapter, at least put things in motion.
I took it serious. I'd probably say like when we had the NIT tournament. That's when I decided like I wanted to continue playing.
Yeah.
So
Junior year. Right.
So coming into my senior year, it was this is your last year. You are the leader on this team.
All business.
Yeah, all business. That's all it was. And
how many girls from that freshman group was still with you?
man.
I mean, I had 9 new players come in, so it had to be
When I
clean
graduated,
glasses.
when I graduated, we had 3 players.
That you from day one?
My freshman year, we had 3 players that I graduated. Actually, I think it was 1. Me and one other person.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken, it was me and one other person that had finished. Yeah. So it was a chopping block.
Right.
But I made it.
Any particular reason?
You know,
Life.
priorities.
Yeah, life.
Priorities. That's exactly what it is. You get into college and there's so much freedom.
Right.
There's nobody watching your back all the time. In high school, you got somebody waking you up.
Right.
Somebody make sure you turn your stuff in.
Right.
Make sure you dressed every day. And college is wake up, go to school, get to practice, get your work done.
Do it yourself.
Yeah, you're an adult, you're grown. And my freshman year, I didn't have that discipline.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a transition.
Yeah.
But yeah, you grow. You have to transition fast. Realize that you going from being babysitted to you grown. Handle your business.
Wow.
I wish I could go back and redo all that, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I wish I could.
If I can go back, listen.
I started over freshman year.
I'm gonna say, even if you go back, it all ended well. I mean, it all
It
went
ended
well.
great. Yeah, it did.
Well.
It all did.
I mean, if I can go back, I'm gonna reclassify, because that's the new thing. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go back, because I graduated early in high school. I was 17, so I'd reclassify and give that next class, 2008, hella buckets. That's what I would do.
Right, I'm telling you.
That's what I would do. All right, so now you're like, all right, senior year's over. You know what I'm saying? You get drafted by the New York Liberty. Okay, so
Man.
what? That was second round or first round?
First round, where'd I go? I went first round 7.
Yeah.
I think I went 7. Yeah, I went to New York first round, number 7.
So do you? So I know you're not real keen on that whole situation. So let's get into it. I'm not even gonna give you a starting point. Let's get into it.
The WNBA.
Yes.
I don't feel like it's for everybody. It is definitely, it's a business. If you more so, it's a business, man. It's not about family. It's not about building each other.
Right.
You have your moments of team,
Right.
but it's definitely not. It's a business. You may be gone tomorrow. You may be gone tomorrow, and I'm gonna continue my day on this team.
Right.
And it sucks that it's like that. It's just, man, it's a business. And you have to treat it like a business. You have to treat them people like you are a business, like you are your own business. It was a great experience. Definitely once in a lifetime experience. If I could redo it, I would redo it all over. I would approach it completely different than I did. I went in there thinking,
It's you all over again.
yeah, I went in there thinking like this is a team to build everybody else, but it's not that. It's
Yeah.
build yourself, and we build the team. So it's
So you got to first focus on you.
You. Everything is about
you. If you
you.
can get you right, if everybody can get themselves right, then the team
Yeah.
will be lifted.
Exactly. It's about you. Focus on yourself. If the WNBA is a goal, build yourself. Build yourself, build your brand, focus on you, and then work for them.
Wow.
That's a lot of sense, though.
That's a gem. So, all right. So then, how did that rookie season go? Because obviously you would do it again.
Yeah, I
So-
would definitely do it again. Completely different. When I went into the league in college, I was 4'5". Going into the league, I'm tiny, real tiny. I was tiny in college. So going into there, I should have been a 2'3".
Yeah.
I've never trained to be a guard.
Cause I felt like you should have been 2-3 in college.
Yeah, but
right.
I spent so much time. Coaches spend so much time coaching by your size.
Right.
I'm not that type of person. I'm gonna coach you by.
Your attributes.
Yeah, I want you to be all around player. But a lot of coaches coach you on your size. You may be 5'5" in whatever grade, and you bigger than everybody else. So they automatically put you at a post.
Right.
You're not a post. You may stop growing right then. But you spent all this time at that position. Now you're you're unprepared for this. So when I got into the league, I was underdeveloped. And when you go into the league, there is no developmental stage. You go into there ready to play.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to go in there ready to play. And when I went into New York, they already had 2-3 players at my position that were vets. Vets have the right of way to everything.
That's no brainer right there.
Right, and a lot of people don't know, your first 4 years in the league, you have to go year to year. There is no contract. You sign 1 year, and you may not have your contract next year. You may be on another team next year. Like I said, it's a business.
That's a lot. That's a lot. No, for real, that's a lot. Because, like you said, because as a matter of fact, I remember looking at your stats. I know you didn't even shoot a 3 in college.
No. I think I threw one up at like halftime. last 2 seconds of the game.
Well, they didn't even put it in your stats.
No,
So,
I was shoot threes.
Right.
You see my shot, all my shot was inside 3 jump shots.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But did you not maybe know that, okay, I might need to be a 2 or 3 going into the next level, or again, it wasn't even a thought, so You was just focused on the
Preparing
math
for that
college.
4-5.
I feel like when coaches are recruiting you, they should be recruiting you for that position.
Yeah.
If you think like if the WNBA is already in motion, you want that person to be ready for that position.
All right.
Like, why recruit a player for this position if you can't use them, especially in the first round? I would have much rather have went 8 to San Antonio where they didn't have my position, where I could have been developed because San Antonio was a developing team.
Right.
He had younger players that he was building on his team. Bill Laimbeer was full of vets. The whole team was vets. What they had 2, 3 players that wasn't.
Right.
Like, I'm thankful that he drafted me, but I don't think it was the best opportunity for me.
Right.
I feel like I should have been somewhere else.
Bill, we need to talk about it. What were you thinking, Bill? Yeah, we need to talk about it. No, but so then your agent at the time, were y'all thinking about trying to get a move? Y'all trying to get traded?
It don't work like that, man.
It don't work like
It don't
that?
work like that. He had rights to me.
Basically.
He had rights to me. He drafted me. He got me, and nobody else would. And if somebody else would have traded for me, then that's fine. But San Antonio had the next pick, so I guess I could have went second round. But yeah, he had rights to me, so I had to go where he wanted. Unless somebody wanted me else, somebody else wanted me.
Okay, so then you get there. So now you're basically having to sit behind 3 people in your position. And they're probably trying to practice you at a different position that you're not used to.
Yes.
Trying
So
to get you ready for that.
yeah, so that transition is very it can kill your confidence.
Yeah.
I think coming in my rookie year, I think a lot of the situations I was in killed my confidence. I went in thinking like, okay, they're gonna help me grow.
Right.
But
No
once
vets.
like they're gonna help you grow.
They're going to work on my game. They're going to help me get to the next level.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was definitely not like that.
So you went through that whole season with New York Liberty, and then did you come back with them?
I came back that second year, halfway through, and then I went to San Antonio.
So where you wanted to be.
But when by the time I get to San Antonio, what they got?
They already
3
got
players in the same position. So it was just all a shit show. Oh, excuse me.
So basically you got what you wanted, just a half a step too late.
Just late. Yeah. Just late.
Were you fed up by then? You was just like,
I think I had like one more push in me, and then I went overseas, and that was I went over a couple years, and it was great.
yeah.
Where'd
you go?
My
I like that. We're gonna talk about that giggle in a minute.
about that. My first year, I went to Israel, and it was.
That's the go-to spot, ain't it?
Hey, it was a really good team.
I know Tamara James. Do you know Tamara James? Tamara
I'm
James.
so bad with names.
She played at the University of Hurricane. She played at WNBA, and she played a lot. She played a long time in Israel too. But go ahead.
Yeah, Israel. They played good, really nice.
Fine,
They
good.
a few thousands a month. I was making what, like $6-7 grand a month. Not having to pay for nothing.
Nothing.
I was living on a little resort out there. It was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first year was really nice.
So you got to play a position out there? Or were you still in this phase of transitioning?
A little bit of both.
Guard and
A little bit of both. The thing about overseas, like when they recruit Americans, they don't care what they're recruiting because you can play any position.
Right.
Like they'll have
If
you
you
at
say
the
I'm
five,
the point
they have
guard,
you-
I'll be the point guard.
Exactly. They'll play you at any position. So when I went over there, I was playing 3-4 mostly.
was you getting comfortable now? Being that kind of wing now and
I don't think my first year I was as comfortable. My second year I was way more comfortable because I was in there. I liked my team a lot and we meshed very well.
okay. So from that time you went to New York and you saying like they started obviously moving you to that wing. So did you start from that point on, even though when you went to San Antonio, did you start working on being a wing and more stuff, or did you kind of just like stuck like I want to be the 4-5?
Oh no, I was willing to transition to still be able to fit into the team somewhere, but it just didn't work.
Right.
Because when you have a player that's been training at this position for 15, 20 years,
Oh,
and then this player that's been coming in maybe a year or two, it's kind of hard to compete with that.
No doubt.
You can't beat experience.
So by the time you got to Israel though, you done worked on being that, so
Yeah.
you developed. You
Yeah, so I
that
developed more.
position
I
that
still
you-
wasn't over here with the, our NBA threes, WNBA threes, but I was still good in my position overseas.
Okay.
at that time were you wanting to come back and get another shot at it to show like, hey, I worked on my game, I belong out here on these wings?
I would have much rather still have played the 4. I think if I would have had a legit opportunity to play the 4 somewhere, I would have been way better.
You'd have thrived.
Because that's my position.
Right.
A lot of players can't compete with me at that position. There's a lot of players that have no talent that's still playing.
Because they got to play their position.
No, because it's a business. It's what you can bring to them, what you can do for them. It's all a business. There's so many athletes that don't need to be there that's there.
Oh man, I ain't even gonna get you to call them out. We gonna move on. I almost asked you to do it. I'm better than that. So.
There's some of them.
I ain't gonna stop you there. So, WNBA versus overseas. Can you put the two together and just give the pros and cons?
The pros. Here you're here. You got opportunity. Your family can get there. You got the same traditions around you. It feels like home. When you go overseas, man, they got their own family over there.
Facts.
They got birthdays and holidays they got to celebrate with their family.
So it's completely different than us.
Yeah, so if you don't know the language all the time, they don't always speak English. I had like 2 teammates that spoke English on a couple of my teams.
Yep.
So it's
translator.
So when I like loving basketball, she at the game and you kind of like.
For
what she
real.
said.
Hey, I had to start picking up some of their language so I could talk to them on the court, like call out plays and stuff.
What's one thing you picked up?
Hey, I done forgot now. But I
You said it so fast, I thought you were about to give me
Nah,
one.
it's been a few years. I knew play calls. You know, you go
You were
like
like,
all the bad
blue,
words.
blue, blue. Oh, that's my play.
Exactly.
Give me the ball.
Hey,
Give me the ball.
I'm calling it out because I knew everything then.
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't use it, you lose it.
That's real life. That's real life. So that's the cons. What's the pros to over there?
Overseas, the money.
The moolah.
That's it. That's really it. The experience. You get to experience other countries on somebody else's dime.
So it's like like
On somebody exactly. It's a business job. Like you get to go there. You get to handle business, but then you get to get a little playtime here.
Business vacation.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Yeah.
You get to go on somebody else's dime. I ain't never had to pay for none of them flights overseas, but I've been a few times.
Right.
Yeah. So Israel's the only place you got to go?
Israel, Dubai, Slovakia, Istanbul, San Juan.
I've been to Istanbul.
What was your favorite spot?
Party-wise, Istanbul.
Yeah.
They love Americans. Never pay for nothing there.
Not only that, the city is so super developed.
It's
like,
lit, man.
Man.
What? Their parties don't start till like 1 in the morning. And
They
they end at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning.
God.
What?
You gotta be a vampire to live there.
Always a party, man.
Oh my
but
gosh.
view-wise, Dubai. Dubai was
you see it
beautiful.
on the shows.
Boy, their wintertime was 70. They was looking at me crazy to walk around in a tank top.
Right.
I'm like, well, this is perfect weather.
Everything.
70.
The summertime,
That's spring.
easy 115.
Oh.
You out there dying. And they covered. They fully
Man,
covered.
how they
covered.
do that?
Speaking of that, did you feel weird not being covered?
Oh, definitely. It makes you feel kind of out of place sometimes.
Yeah.
Like when I would go to the malls, I had a teammate that spoke great English.
Right.
She wasn't from there, but she had lived there for so long.
That she adjusted to their
Yeah,
customs.
so she speak all their language and stuff. So we would go to the mall together, and she'll be fully covered, and they'll be looking at me crazy like, "Oh, you must be an American," running up to me, asking me questions and stuff. But yeah, it makes you feel awkward because they don't show no skin.
Yeah.
I'm talking about knees, toe, nothing.
Just
arm.
eyeballs.
That's it, right here. That's all you see.
Man, those experiences, you can't beat them.
No, it's great, man. I wish I would have explored more when I was over there. But I was kind of like, oh, I
You
don't
was just
know
like
nobody.
basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't know nobody.
You young too, so
Any fam got to visit?
nah, didn't nobody come over there. I just had some of my friends that I knew that had played ball over there. We just end up in the same countries.
Yeah.
Other than that, nah.
Oh, that's fire.
Man, them flights expensive. Them
Them
flights like
flights
$2,000, man.
It is.
Them flights are expensive.
Oh.
My longest flight was 16 hours.
Yeah.
I think it was to Dubai. It was long, man. It was like 9 days.
I went to Asia. I had an 8-hour flight to Istanbul and a 13-hour flight to Bangladesh after that.
It's crazy.
I spent so long. I mean, and a layover. Don't even forget about the layover.
You sleep
So
all the time.
Man, oh my God. I think it was 25 hours
I'm telling you.
just to get there.
all you can do is sleep. I'll wake up.
I watch y'all
Right
movies.
when that food ready. Give me that goat. Wake up.
Give me that go.
I would never eat that food. I'd never eat that food
Here, right.
Here, no. You go on the flights, they got the best food.
Man,
You
that
question
curry is
everything
strong,
you see,
too.
but it's all good.
Good.
I swear, it's like straight from them. It is great. They food great.
Yeah.
You can't get that here. I won't eat none of
Hey,
that.
I'm Haitian, so I'm used to
I got a
eating.
Jamaican buddy I grew up with, so he used to make the heck out of some curry
Boy,
chicken.
I'm telling you. Hey, that curry chicken in Istanbul,
Yeah.
I eat that every day.
Every day.
I came in the door, they already had it ready. I got you, Tony. I'm telling you, man.
I got you, Tony. They knew what time it was.
Sound like a lot of pros, though. Sound like a lot of pros.
Oh, man. So, when did you walk away from it then?
When was it? 2016?
And by that
Oh,
time
no.
you were...
It was 2017. Going into that year.
Oh, that's recent.
Yeah, that was I had a team offer, the beginning of that year, and I turned it down.
Which here or there?
It was overseas.
And you turned it down.
Yeah,
So
I had
what kind
some personal issues.
So what kind of money did you leave on the table?
Some grands.
Some K's.
Some grands. Yeah.
So what were you? I mean, if you don't mind sharing, what were you dealing with that just was like, you know what?
When you're in a relationship, choose yourself.
Right.
Don't ever put a relationship before your career. And I did. And it was probably the biggest mistake I've made in a long time. Choosing a person over what I wanted.
Right.
Yeah. So I chose to stay home to deal with that crap instead of go play ball.
And it didn't even work out.
You know, it broke up like a couple weeks later.
Oh!
Literally a couple weeks later.
That hurt me, man. I'm hurt right now.
Hey, no, it was the greatest. It was a great experience. It was the greatest thing to happen.
Blessing in disguise.
Definitely. I always call it a blessing in disguise. You know, you get signs to leave things alone, leave them alone. Or you sacrifice what you deserve and what you need in the long run.
Wow. So here it is then. Did you ever contemplate a comeback? I know you played in some Skins League tournaments. That was my first time getting to see you play. I was like, oh, she is like that.
Right.
Yeah, you won't remember my wife played against you, and so I'm watching her lose by 30 to y'all. And so I'm like, oh damn, they are like that. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, most of them girls was my teammates on my AU team.
Ah.
Yeah, and we all old,
Cheat
but we all
codes.
still
Squad.
good.
Cheat
And
code.
if you notice, whenever I play in them leagues, them is my teammates. They're my old
It's
teammates.
them or bust. Them or bust.
Yeah, I don't like to play with people I don't know, so I usually play with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we be out there.
So did you ever contemplate a comeback then?
Y'all, I'm out of shape, man. I hate running. I hate running unless somebody chasing me.
You be on
Oh,
Facebook
yeah.
flexing your abs.
Hey, that's
gun
what
show.
I can't tell.
Yeah, you get somebody chasing me, I'll be like,
You wait right there. I'm gonna come get you.
just let me catch my breath. Just give me a minute. Yeah, I always liked basketball. I never loved it. It's that, like I said, I've always been good at sports. I high jump, played volleyball. Those was my favorite sports. Basketball was my second favorite sport.
Yeah.
So I just been good at it. I've always been good at it. So I just did it. And it's crazy because everybody, oh, you went to the league. Yeah, but I was just good at it.
Yeah.
You want to go? Sometimes you're just good at stuff.
So in other words, you didn't contemplate a comeback.
Nah.
You didn't.
Everybody
contemplate
always
a comeback.
asks me all the time, Tony, when you gonna come? I'm not. I make good money doing what I'm doing.
We putting it to rest.
I'm not.
Tony not coming back.
Y'all might catch me in a couple, leagues, but no, I don't want to do. People spend so much time in the league. What do you do after that?
Yeah.
And you know how hard it is for me to get a job now because I don't have job experience because I played basketball so long. I'm lucky enough to work for myself, but man, just applying for jobs, you can't. I got a degree. I ain't got no work experience. They're like, oh yeah, we don't want you.
Right. Ain't it trash how you do
It's
that?
crazy.
It's like, how I'm gonna get some experience
If you don't hire
If
me,
you don't hire
where am I
me.
supposed to start? I
Right.
ain't gonna flip no burgers.
like I might as well
That's
just
not
go.
experience for what I'm trying to do.
I might as well go get the experience and not the degree at some point.
That's exactly
And
right.
it's not like I'm pushing that, I'm just saying.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? That's
It's
crazy.
crazy. It is crazy.
Yeah, so now you walk away from it, you didn't love it, but at any point did you think about having a program, a Toni Young AAU program, for kids that do love it? Because obviously you got education out of it, you got some great experiences out of it. Talk to us about that.
Actually, I used to coach kids in Tulsa. I like kids young. They were like 4. My kids were 4 to like 7. I like them young then because you can develop them. You can teach them all the basics the right way.
Mentals.
Yeah. So I did it for a while. If I can get some consistent parents, I will not mind coaching kids.
Right.
But it's the parents mostly that you have to deal with because you schedule a practice, they don't show up.
Yeah.
How do you create good habits if your parents ain't got good habits?
Right.
So if I do, it'll just be, I'll coach younger kids. I tried it a couple times. It's just keeping them coming in.
So you would coach, but you haven't really thought about maybe just having a program all to yourself where. Nah.
We got Mike Young program now.
That's big facts.
We got Mike Young program now.
Shout out Jessica.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Nation.
So then, what about a semi-pro team?
I wouldn't mind helping them, just because I kind of know the in and outs of the college life and going to pros.
Right.
I wouldn't mind
Still
trying
got
to
some
connect.
connects over there?
I can hit up a couple people and see what they got going.
Right.
I haven't really talked to much people over there, mostly college stuff. Like I got some friends that are college coaches, so I would mostly focus on high school kids.
Right.
High school kids, getting them out there, getting them a start. The younger kids, adults, I wouldn't mind helping too much. But
Yeah, but it's
I'm
not your
focused on the
niche.
youth.
It's not
yeah,
your niche,
I'm focused on the youth.
I'm with that. That's kind of how I am. I really like working with the kids. I'm a counselor now at Norman North High School. I really like working with the kids. I don't mind working with adults, but they kind of set in their ways.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? While kids act like they know it all, at some point they do realize
Like
they don't know
sponges.
none. You know what I'm saying? And they'll come back around. But an adult, they like, you know what? I could be wrong.
But I'm gonna be wrong.
But I'm gonna be wrong.
Out of my head.
Right.
But I'm gonna be wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, let's see. So you wouldn't have a semi-pro team. So how would you even go about creating, like a program for kids who want to get to college?
Ooh, man. To start that, we definitely have to start a foundation for that. We gotta put a connection point.
You know how they got like them. You know how like they got them prep.
Little
Prep programs
Mhm.
and because kids after their summer, their senior year, they can't really play AAU and do things like that. So
what's the process right now anyways with COVID? Like how do you even do anything?
I just got through coaching, so we out here. You wear your mask if you're not playing, and we out here. So
Yeah.
I prefer it that way because can't live in fear. You know what I'm saying? And
I
at the
feel
end
like
of the
that's
day,
all kids kind of getting a looks is still
The
going
experience,
right
yeah.
now. 'Cause
Right.
like a lot of summer ball has still been going. So
I mean, can you think about how many kids just lost opportunities for
It's
that?
crazy,
You know,
man.
I mean, they talk about people, dying and all that, and I respect it. Think about all the people that their mental health is affected from this too. So, if there's a way to continue to move on and keep playing, keep doing things, I'm all for it. Whatever protocol is, just follow the protocol and just keep trying to further your life that way. So, all right, well let me move on past that, right? So, businesses. You keep talking about you work for yourself. You keep getting ahead of me.
I'm sorry.
So now we got to get into it. What we doing out here, and where can they find you?
I own a tire mechanic shop,
Let's get it.
9128 Northeast 23rd. It's called Midwest Tire.
And I'm mad at you because you was at Norman,
I was in Norman, man. I was in Norman.
and one day I went to look for you. You
and
weren't
I was
there.
gone, and I rolled up out of there.
You was not there.
Yeah, I did have that location. The location is it's not fast enough for me. My location in Midwest City is
Booming.
Yes, man. I had to close that and focus on just the one. But
So you had two at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going back and forth. Mostly, I was in Norman most of the time.
Right.
But that location was kind of slow, so I focused on my one in Midwest City. But I work on cars. Surprised I went to school for to work with kids, and I work on cars now.
Hey, kids like cars.
They do. They got parents that drive cars.
Exactly.
Right.
Trying to make the connection.
Right.
Need that.
Trying to make the connection, but that's dope though. If anybody was wanting to do something like that, how do they even go about it?
Hey, I always suggest working for yourself. But the first thing I think was starting a tire. Well, my shop is a tire and mechanic shop. Finding location. Location is everything. location, saving. You probably need about 15 grand to start a shop.
Right.
Hey, that money start coming in right away. Get your LLC, get your EIN number, tax ID numbers and stuff, and
Yes, sir.
man, it's easy. It's actually pretty easy once you get going.
So it sounds like the number one thing is location.
Location. Nobody who really, when you're looking for a tire shop, you really Google a tire shop, or you be driving looking for one, or is it word of mouth?
Honestly, I be seeing them just driving.
Yeah.
So by the time I do need to go to one,
You remember?
I remember that was like, I didn't even know that was you. I just knew it was there.
Exactly.
And then it was so crazy because I was on the phone with Mike, and then I was like, man, I need to do this, this, and this to my car. He's like, man, go such and such place in Norman. That's my sister's. I was like, huh? I drive by that all the time. So I pulled up on you. You got me right.
There.
And you got me right. I'm glad you was there. That was fire.
Yeah, but nobody ever Googles a shop, man. You just pull up and you see one.
Yeah. So it was like funny because I already knew where it was when he told me about it. So it's cool. It's cool. Well, let's talk about it. Got this basketball camp coming up. The Nikki Teasley basketball camp, right? Mike Neal, 6A state champ. Coach Hamilton actually battled Coach Neal in the state championship, and Mike Neal got the better of him, but somehow I got these two gentlemen in my camp at the same time with Nikki Teasley. So that's going to happen October 17th. It's a sponsored event with Jordan Evans is sponsoring the t-shirts. Midway Deli is going to sponsor lunch for the first session, and then Scratch Kitchen and Cocktails sponsoring lunch for the second session. So pretty star-studded event. And then we got some good things happening. Would you be opposed to making an appearance?
No, I'll come through. Yeah, I'll be there. Was it 17th, right?
October 7th. Matter of
Hey,
fact,
I'll
take
be
that
there.
with you.
Right.
Don't. Hey, I better not see it in the garbage out there.
Hey, look, I'm about to take a picture with my phone right now.
Oh
just
yeah,
so
once
I
it's
got
in your
it.
phone,
Any
it's
of
in there.
them young females that you know that hoop, go ahead, tell them to sign up so they can get this good experience.
So the age group is 9 to 14. The first session is 9 to 11. If they about to turn 9, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? They just turned 15, like, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But we really want to try to pour into these girls, and that's why I asked you about if you ever thought about having a program, because, you know, youth girls basketball it's important. I mean, sports in general, because, matter of fact, here's another question before we move on. How much confidence do you feel like you gained from playing sports? Just
If you would have met me before I started playing basketball, yeah, when I say I was a little awkward,
yeah.
I was real awkward. It brings you out of yourself.
Right.
It makes you be vocal. It makes you learn to talk to people. It makes you learn how to make eye contact with people.
Right.
Like, it teaches you social skills.
No doubt.
Definitely. And if you happen to be a good player, it definitely builds your confidence.
No doubt.
It does.
No doubt. And that's kind of like, I wasn't focused on girls basketball. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, I got a boy, my dude about to turn 7 in December, but my daughter just turned 4 September 6th. So now I'm already thinking, like, my baby don't got to play sports. But if she does want to play sports, I'm going to make sure I'm embedded, right? And so now I'm like, okay, these are the things that I got to do to start getting things right. You know, build the whole Norman community or Oklahoma basketball for girls, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? That's a tall task. But just trying to build that for the upcoming, you know, girl basketball generation. So that's where we at with it.
The hardest thing about trying to put on basketball programs is why I stopped, is because you can't ever find a gym. That is the biggest problem, is finding a gym. Finding a gym that somebody will allow you in and not charge you $1 million insurance policy to come and train kids.
Right.
Like, how am I supposed to have to help kids and you want me to give you
Big
$1
facts.
million policy? Like, be real.
Big facts.
I've tried to put on multiple basketball programs, but that's my issue every time. Nobody wants to allow you to use their gym.
Well, let's put our heads together in this HBSML,
Hey, I
Toni
know.
Young. Let's put our heads together, because she only gonna be here October 17th, but you're here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
And
we
I'm only
gonna,
20 minutes away from
and you here. So we gonna figure it out, man. I'm excited. I wanted to get her to say yes on air. So if you don't show, we gonna go back to the clip. We gonna go back.
I'm there.
All right, 100. So what message do you got for the aspiring hoopers?
Focus, hard work. If I could go back and redo it, it would be focus on my school and my game. That party life is gonna come. Focus on school and ball. Get your money. That's it. That's
Focus.
it.
Get your money.
That's it, because, hey, education, focus, basketball, whatever sport you playing, focus on you and that goal. I wasn't distracted with all the extra stuff outside of sports. So if you can stay focused on just your sport, you'll be successful.
That's lit. That's great advice. That's a gem.
Like
Well,
that.
here it is, ball signing time. So season 2,
Here we go.
we gotta get the guests to sign the ball. And Tony, this is your segment. You do it best. So I'm gonna let you handle your
I'm
business.
just gonna say, you up here with some stars. We had some good signings up here, so you know you in here, you in the presence. Check that out real quick.
So that's
Check that out real quick.
you on there with Broyles. You on there with Rayford Young, Trey's dad. You on there, and you deserve to be on there because your story was phenomenal.
Definitely.
And you gave us your time, and we sincerely appreciate
Whenever you
that.
signed, thought I didn't want on there too.
Man, I appreciate y'all for having me.
Oh, we glad you came through. I hear a lot from bro, but you know it's different when you hear the actual story from somebody. So.
Hey, yo, and we got the smiley face, so you enjoyed yourself. That's good.
That has always, I always smile. If you look at my college signatures, they always got a smiley face on them.
So then, I ain't gonna put no
All
stock
of
in it.
them.
I ain't gonna put no stock in
If
that.
they ain't got no smiley face on it, I ain't signing it.
Hey,
Let's get
turn
it.
up.
You heard it here first. Well, thank you for hanging out with us as we drop gems that we picked up in these gems. We appreciate you.
Salute.
Peace.
Yeah. Yeah. Sound good, don't it? Check. Look. Okay. Yeah. Look. Life tried to drown me. This hoop is like my life jacket. This ice in my veins is sunk the Titanic. Lockdown defense kept me out the center for detention. Divine intervention passes over to my center. Alleyways are the alley-oops. Some got no looks and passed away when somebody shoot. Back in court duo, but nobody hoops. The wrists follow through and the cuffs got a loop. Pick a book up, picked up and get booked. It's just you and I, out running suicides. Me, I was out running suicide. Boy, I'm going in, dropping gems that I picked up in these gyms. I can't slack, I've been down and back. I'm just trying to share a few tales from this thing called life. Count my assists, man, I swear that basketball really saved my life. Yeah, yeah. I swear it saved my life. Let's go.